What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about qualified immunity. Give people a second to get in here. Come on, guys. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hopefully the notifications went out. Technically my third video in 24 hours. We're just going to wait a second and let people get in here. No Name, James. Crazy Outdoor Man Adventure, Joey, Brian. Auditors of America, Last Days of Freedom. All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about qualified immunity. Big issue. Should there be qualified immunity? Shouldn't there be qualified immunity? But firstly, what the hell is qualified immunity? I'm going to read you the definition. Chirac in the house. What's up, Janet? So we're going to read the definition of qualified immunity. Just reading this makes me laugh. Okay? Now, the definition of qualified immunity. Qualified immunity refers to a series of legal precedents that protect government officials, including police officers accused of violating constitutional rights. Otherwise, officers are protected from liability. Let that sink in. Qualified immunity is legal rulings and precedents that protect officers when they violate your constitutional rights. So the Constitution affords you, through a series of amendments, certain rights that are granted to you by being a citizen of this country, by gaining citizenship to this country. So, the Constitution also states that any law, any action that abridges the Constitution or your rights afforded thereunder is therefore unconstitutional and does not need to be recognized or followed. Meaning, the Constitution says right in it, any law that anyone makes that goes against the Constitution is not a law and is thereby unconstitutional. So the government has now come up, and the Supreme Court, as recently as October 18th, they ruled in favor of officers accused of excessive force. Why not? Why wouldn't these cops beat the shit out of you? Because they have the right to get away with it. I mean, I don't understand how qualified immunity is even a question right now, because it's a series of legal precedents that protect government officials, including police officers, accused of violating your constitutional rights. So you have these rights, and the cops are allowed to violate them, and they will not be held liable for it. So today the topic of discussion is, do we abolish qualified immunity? Do we abolish it? I mean, do we even need to abolish it? Do we even need to recognize it? Because by definition, you can't violate someone's constitutional rights. So, for example, First Amendment guarantees your right to redress your grievances, free speech, freedom of religion, right to assembly. So if the government came out with a law that said you can't have free speech, it's not a law. We don't have to recognize it because it's unconstitutional in its concept because it abridges the Constitution. The government recognized that. So why do they back qualified immunity? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So the topic of discussion today is pro-qualified immunity and con-qualified immunity. I can tell you the biggest argument for in keeping qualified immunity is basically, thank you so much, Twyla. Really appreciate that. Guys, if you want, you can feel free to post super chats, super stickers. You can also go to paypal.me/accountabilityforall or Cash App, $AFAYT. You'll see the ticker scrolling against the bottom of the screen. The biggest argument for qualified immunity is police can't police correctly. And they can't police safely. if they're afraid that everything they do, they might get sued for. So to make a cop feel comfortable about doing his job, we have to give him the permission to violate our rights and assault us. I mean, let's just look at that out of terms of police. Let's say we transfer this to almost any other area of job expertise. Let's say you work at an ice cream parlor. Your job's to scoop me a double scoop of Rocky Road. However, to make sure that you can properly scoop your Rocky Road, I have the ability to hit you in the face with the scoop. Now, when you call the police and say, hey, listen, I just tried to get ice cream, and this asshole hit me in the face with a metal scoop, the police are going to arrest you. So let's look at this scene out. The police arrest you for assaulting somebody during your job. Then you say, I don't want you to arrest me. I should have to do my job safely. I should be able to assault people. And then they punch me in the face. And I say, hold on. I just punched someone in the face so I could do my job better. That was not okay. Now you just punched me in the face so you could do your job better, and that's all right. That really is the biggest argument on behalf of qualified immunity. I mean, if you abolish, and the other thing is we've given way too much leeway and lenience to cops, right? So now the concern is if we abolish qualified immunity, cops aren't going to do their job. They're going to be afraid to search you. They're going to be afraid to put their hands on you if they need to in a physical altercation or situation. They're going to be afraid to arrest you. Mostly only when they're on camera because, cops lie, the camera doesn't. That doesn't make much sense to me. So now we're saying, the government saying, oh, well, if we take qualified immunity away, these cops are going to be scared to go out and do their job. We're not going to be arresting criminals. We're not going to be doing what we need to do because they're going to be afraid of someone suing us. Yeah, that's called liability. That's called accountability. That's called being held accountable for your fucking actions. But this is what happens when the government gets too much power. They have no idea what to do with it. I mean, like every branch of government has their own little fucking fiefdom. There is no accountability. When you're going through an ordeal with a government agency and they have the ability to make a decision that can negatively impact your life with no direct supervision, recourse, or redress, that's a fiefdom. I mean, yeah, maybe you'll figure it out down the road if you get on camera or, enough people in social media have a problem with it. But at that exact moment, there's zero accountability for their actions. That's a fucking problem. That's a problem. I just got a coffee at Dunk's. That poor girl didn't have any qualified immunity, and I would argue her job is harder than some of the cops I've filmed. By herself, she had a line 10 people deep, and she had to make coffee, sandwiches, lattes, macchiatos. I don't know if you've ever tried to make a macchiato, but it takes about 10 minutes by your fucking self, let alone having to multitask. I would argue, most of these cops right now, they're just driving around, listening to Accountability for All talk shit, not really doing anything, parking at shopping malls to see if someone gets in a bumper-to-bumper accident when they're getting their Christmas gifts. I would argue the chick at Dunkin' Donuts is working harder and doing more. She doesn't have qualified immunity. But who decides who has qualified immunity? Who decides? Well, that's a great question. I can tell you the answer to that, people. The government. The government comes and takes your guns. The government tells you what you can and can't do. The government decides who should have qualified immunity. It works as good as the police investigating the police. What a lot of cities and towns are doing now, nationwide, is they're having separate community private panels investigate allegations of internal affairs, especially when it comes to excessive force. But how it normally goes is if you want to complain about a cop, you complain to another cop. And then that cop investigates the other cop that you're complaining about. Okay. So they're in the same union, the Fraternal Order of Police. They pay the same dues. They work together every day. They watch each other's back. I'll tell you one thing. If you bring a complaint about me to one of my best friends, they're probably going to back me up. This is what happens when you let the government investigate itself. This is what happens when you give them rights they don't deserve. But there's two sides to every coin. So I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts for qualified immunity. I want to hear your thoughts against qualified immunity. And maybe this is this conversation. Maybe this conversation is something that changes your mind. There we go. Drop the link. All right. Link is in the description. I'll tell you one thing, though. This really shouldn't even be a conversation. Why give people something they don't deserve? I mean, I just want to ask you guys a quick question. If it was your call and you sat down and the President of the United States said to you, hold on, guys. I guess 357 Sig Beats is pro cop. That's what it seems like. Don't worry. We'll take your wrench back from you. You can be pro police. You just don't need to do it with the blue wrench. Breaking the Flaw, it says your devices are not connected. I cannot bring you up. All right, guys. Let's try and get Breaking the Flaw up here. Looks like maybe that worked. All right. Breaking the Flow.
What's up? How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing so much better now that you're here.
Oh, that's good.
That's just great. What are your thoughts on qualified immunity?
It shouldn't exist, obviously, but it doesn't matter because the court's are going to take the cop's word over yours any day, and that's their qualified immunity. And doesn't have to be like a written policy or anything like that. I think it's disgusting that they're flaunting it that hard that they have to make qualified immunity, but it doesn't matter. It's almost like an argument that doesn't need to be had because it doesn't need to be. We all know it doesn't need to exist, but they have it no matter what. Like if it's a policy or not, in the court they're going to get away with it. Just as how it is, right?
Right, but what I don't understand is, again, let me read the definition as defined by the statute. A series of legal precedents that protect government officials, including police officers accused of violating constitutional rights. Officers are protected from liability. So I'm pretty sure if a law was passed tomorrow saying that some town in ass-fuck Alabama says, hey, you guys aren't allowed to carry guns anymore, the government would be like, well, it's a second fucking amendment. You can't take our right away to carry guns. This seems like it abridges the Constitution. I mean, there's an amendment to the Constitution that says no law shall abridge the Constitution. So why is it just accepted?
No, it's funny, Josh. Remember when we got pushed out of the Worcester police station? I got arrested, all that jazz, right?
Yeah.
Do you know Hurley, Michael Hurley, the one that used you as your face as a ram for the doors?
Yeah.
Punched me in the chest after throwing my phone, all that jazz. Did you know that he got suspended that day for his actions that day?
Wait, so in the video I'm referring to, if you guys are just checking in, Joe, myself, and somebody else went to the Worcester Police Department, and we were filming the lobby. They didn't like the things that we had to say. So Michael Hurley, who has had a slew of internal affairs allegations against him, usually for just not being able to control his anger, threw me out face first and then threw Joe out. And he told Joe that he had to leave the property. So
no, he never
Joe
told me
goes
to leave. Never told me
what
to
do you
leave
he
the
threw your
property.
phone, right?
I wanted my phone, and he had never told us to leave. Actually, the only time he ever told us to leave was after I was in cuffs, and he told you to screw. That was the first time he told you to leave.
Go anywhere, and then he threw your phone, and you were like, "Well, you just told me I can't go anywhere. Now you want me to go get my phone? Which one is it?"
Yeah, like the only thing that like was suggestive of him telling us to leave was, "You're not going to come here and antagonize us." That was the only portion of his speech that was actually considered like him telling us to leave until he told you to screw.
Right. So that day, after all that, he got suspended that day.
Yeah.
How long was he suspended for?
Well, I don't know if you got suspended that day. You got suspended for those actions that day. That's what I meant to say. I'm not sure. This is a good question, but this was communicated by the DOJ to my lawyer.
You know what he alleged afterwards? And I got this information through a private channel. I can't share the source. I can do it with you privately. He claimed that on the portion, because when he punched you in the stomach, it's very clear that he punched you in the stomach.
It's like upper stomach, lower chest.
Right. He said that for that moment, for the 3 or 4 seconds where the punch occurred, he was simply putting something in your sweatshirt pocket, and we sped up the camera replay. So it was simply him putting something in your pocket, and we just sped it up to make it look like he was punching you.
Who said that?
That's what he said through his FOP representation. Now I have the statement that he made, and it was given to me privately. And I've just been gone. So I guess it really never came up. But yeah, he alleged that for those 3 seconds, he simply placed the phone in your pocket, but we sped up the playback and the frames per second to make it appear as if he was punching you.
Really? This is a statement he made? Where?
That's on paper.
Where is this?
I will send it to you private channels. I got it from a government employee that saw the video and was upset by his actions, had actions with him before, and sent me some paperwork. This is a long time ago. I believe I got it while I was still in prison.
Yeah, because there's no way that I would have known about this too. But it's really funny. Cool.
But it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. If he has qualified immunity, why does he have to make up lies or excuses?
I know. And, they railroaded me in those courts to avoid Hurley getting on the stand. So only the arresting officer had to get on the stand. And he lied on the stand. He said that he said that he told me to leave twice, which is technically one lie, but he's saying that he said twice, which is a lie. He never told me to leave at all.
Well, let's say he told you to leave. That has no legal grounds because you're in a public place conducting a constitutionally protected activity.
And I got an order to go get it, as in my phone that just got thrown 40 feet. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to prevent me from my property? And it's funny because until court actually happened, until we got him on the stand, he said that he was unaware that Hurley told him to go get his phone. So that was the first time I ever heard of it on the stand. Bullshit. He's a liar. Total liar.
here's the thing that people may not know. There is
This is
a
your qualified
victim.
immunity, guys. This is what I'm talking
There is
about.
a
It doesn't
there is a
matter.
victim.
Qualified immunity doesn't matter because they're going to get up on the stand. They're going to lie and manipulate the facts in their favor, and they don't give a shit about us. So they probably already forgot all the facts. So they're probably reading it last second and getting on the stand and reciting something. So they believe in whatever they're reading, because they're low IQ dumbasses that think they can get away with these things. And because that's what they've been trained to do. This is how they've been hired. This is how they've been recruited. They've been scouted. These kids have been scouted since high school to be like bullies. And
Well, it's
now they're
partially.
in this
I mean,
position.
it's less these cops' fault
Qualified
than it
immunity don't
is
matter, guys.
their supervisor's fault. Like, so there's an
Notice line
office,
stand.
Captain Daniel Lickey. He is a member of the Boston Police Department Special Forces Bicycle Response Unit, which sounds ever intimidating.
Yeah, Josh.
These were the guys that arrested me when I was covering the Straight Pride Parade.
Well,
Now, when I finally get his
show.
information, he had 16 internal affairs allegations against him.
Josh go?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Joe?
Oh, there he is. Nope, can't hear you, Josh.
Guys, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Maybe having technical difficulties.
All right, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. So Captain Daniel Lickey of the Boston Police Department, he had 16 internal affairs allegations. And currently, last time I checked, which was about 3 months ago, he was on another administrative leave. Several of these things were sustained against him. And he had some issues where he was involved in like alleged fraud. So he should never have been allowed to violate any of my rights. But the reason that he was able to violate my rights and so many other people's after the first allegation and violate 15 different people's rights after that is because his qualified immunity protected him. So he was able to violate the first person's right, and he said, screw it. Over a 20-year career, he allegedly violated 15 other people's rights. Right? This is just a progressive thing because they're like, all right, listen, we want to get the crime. We want to get the criminal. So we'll let you break any law you please to go get those criminals. When in doing so, the most laws are broke by the police when they're going after these alleged criminals. I mean, who is the real perpetrator of violence here? Who is the real bad guy? In my estimation, the real bad guy is for the most time, the one wearing a badge.
Yeah, these high school diploma, 6-month trained, learned to shoot in 2 weeks. These are the people making these decisions in our lives to, either to end them or to make them difficult for a very long time.
And we make this point a lot in auditing. When we see stuff that's like so stupid and so egregious that to be a barber, to cut my hair, you have to have 18 months of training in class on the job. To be a police officer,
you probably lose your license too. As soon as it's like, let's just say you screw up a haircut, or you get like maybe 3 complaints about like bad haircuts, you get shut down, right? They probably shut you down.
And someone else can fix the fucking haircut. No one else can fix dead when a rogue cop that should have been taken off the force 14 complaints ago goes and shoots someone, i.e. Derek Chauvin. People were all in the train like, oh, this poor guy, he made one mistake. Derek Chauvin had 26 complaints alleged against him, 26 internal affairs issues, almost all were for excessive force.
Wait a second, that's just one bad incident.
Yeah, well, that's one bad incident that we're talking about now.
26 individual bad incidences. Like they're just individual bad incidences. So it's okay. See, they'll just get on the stand, qualified immunity.
Swan Villain, show me your face backstage so I can see it's you, and then I'll bring you up. No one else can see it. Hold on. What's going on? Devices are not connected. Try connecting button coming back up. Yeah, I have no clue. Like this shit. Oh, wait, I think we got. Can you hear us, bud?
Ooh. Let's play Swan Call.
I can't hear or see him.
I have a echo.
I'm gonna drop you down, Swanville, and I can't hear you or see you, bud. Oh, what happened? All right. You have an echo?
Wait, not anymore. Oh no, it's there. It's your end.
It's not my end.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No, any badge, and it's I say what I say, and that's you don't need qualified immunity. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, maybe we can have qualified immunity.
Well, I have a shiny badge.
You do have a shiny badge, and it says shiny badge doesn't grant extra rights.
You got it.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous how some cops will literally abandon their post just so they have to admit no wrongdoing. All right. I released a video today. I mean, it's not a big deal, right? You think a cop not wearing his seatbelt isn't a big thing, not using a signal is a big thing. It's really not. You can just say to the cop, hey, listen, bro, up there's Swan Villain. Hey there, bud.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. We got you now.
Yep.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going? Hey, I got a question for you, Joe.
Yeah. Sure.
I pretty soon here, unless it gets renewed, I am gonna be able to upload videos about my protests in Swanville and other people's footage of similar protests. And I'm wondering about maybe using yours.
Which side? Which side?
Which? No, not this. Not a sign. Your protest video, the footage of your.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to.
Footage.
Yeah, I'd like to download that, yours and Yeats, and kind of compile it a bit, and then upload some of that to my channel.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, that's going to be good. That's coming up right here in a minute. Couple of weeks, I'll be free of that.
Don't miss the part where she basically followed us 45 minutes away when we went to go try to see you or find out how you were doing in the hold up. And when I got back to my van, she was right there, right next to my van. Do you know that? The owner?
I can't comment on that at the moment.
Oh,
that's part of my condition. Yeah, talk to me in a couple of weeks. Believe me, I'll have lots to say about all that.
All right.
Right now, I can be arrested if I say the wrong thing at this moment. The wrong person's watching.
No, I didn't. No, you didn't say anything. Don't say anything. Good.
I don't know. I don't think I violated anything there, and I don't think listening to you that shouldn't do it because I'm not the one. If I were the one posting this video, I would have just violated, and they could come arrest me.
It's like my friend can't even search the word Bitcoin, so I just Bitcoin happens to be at 49,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. All right. Well, it's good to see you free, though, man. It's both of you.
Yeah. Josh, you just got out here, is that right? I kind of lost track, because I was in there for a while, and I know you were going in when I went in.
Yeah, I just got back about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
And nothing's changed. The tyrants are still tyrants, and they still need to be filmed.
Oh yeah. Yep.
What are your thoughts on qualified immunity?
Well, I think surgeons have qualified immunity, right?
Right.
And in that sense, or in that case, that makes some sense. In their case, as I understand it, which is if they accidentally kill you while they're performing a surgery on you, they can't be prosecuted for manslaughter. It works like that, as I understand it. So it's not, they still have to have malpractice insurance because you can still sue them for it.
Because they're in the process of saving your life and they can accidentally kill you.
Police
officers they're not in the forward action of saving your life, and they're making a choice to kill you.
Well,
different.
they could take other options that doesn't kill
Yeah,
you.
but less than
Whereas a
lethal is just not
doctor,
as much fun.
they have to perform the surgery, which might end up killing you. They can't do anything about it. Like, whereas a cop, he doesn't have to shoot you. It's like the gun isn't going to go off pointing at you by random. It's
Well, I
going to
mean,
happen.
by training, these guys aren't trained, and most of these guys don't have the accuracy, capabilities, or abilities to shoot you at extremities. They're trained for center body mass. That's what they're trained to do. They're trained to take you down, and then they have this phenomenon where a cop will pull out his taser and accidentally shoot you because they're used to just reaching for their gun.
Well,
So
that just happened with Kim, whatever her name is, Kim Potter. Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing. If they don't have the ability to say, I'm not going to kill you with my left hand, my brain's just going to go to kill you. They don't have the ability to choose between right from left. My kid can choose between right from fucking left. If they can't decipher those basic fucking things, see you later.
Yeah. I mean, they certainly get away with, they not only have qualified immunity, they abuse it. They have it way more than in any other profession, like you were saying a little while ago. And to the degree that they have it, they abuse it. It gets abused because the judges and the jury, everybody's so sympathetic to hero cops, are heroes.
What's up, Joey?
So it's a double
How you
win.
doing, guys?
Too bad.
How's it going?
Not going too bad. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to come on today, I wanted to thank you guys all for the job that you're doing. I'm a 60-year-old man, and believe it or not, I was stabbed 19 times. To tell you the truth, for trying to take tyrants down. They put me out of business. My job was to investigate government officials, police officers, and so on and so forth. And I was stabbed 19 times and left to die, but they didn't see I lived to tell the story. But one of the
did you
things
die? I'm just kidding.
one of the things that we did talk about during all this stuff has been going on for the last 15 years, that there should be no government control of hiring and firing police officer. There should be a panel of people, of citizens that should do the hiring and firing, so that way they can double check, make sure their training has been completed properly. And with this day and age and all the different things that they need to be trained for, they shouldn't allow to become a police officer until they've had that complete training, even if it takes up to a year. My understanding is that the people run the government. One of the biggest problems that I see is the people do not run the government. The people run with their tails between their legs and go the opposite way around and like to speak a lot but do nothing. And you guys, you do a lot of good jobs out there. I'm amazed on what you do out there. You make me feel proud after what I went through, that there's someone out there still covering, still doing the same things that I used to do to prevent this from happening in the future. But unfortunately, you guys are going backwards when there's certain auditors that create more problems, and it's like you have to retrain the police officers all over again because they're not doing the job and they're not out there for the people. And that's my honest opinion. But I've watched probably over 100,000 videos so far because I got nothing else to do with my time, because I love auditors. I think they're doing an amazing job, but you have a lot of bad seeds out there. And that's all I want to say today.
Curiosity, out of that, first of all, thank you. I love what you had to say, and I'm sorry what happened to you and that you've been laid up. Out of curiosity, I would love to ask which auditors do you think are the ones that are making us backpedal?
I think, Josh, that you know who they are, because you guys, I've watched every one of your talks, and you guys have mentioned names. And I have to say, one of the worst one out there He hangs with a whole bunch of people. I'm not even going to mention any names, but I think you know who I'm talking about. He's got a girlfriend, just had a baby recently. I think he's a disgrace to human beings, and I think he's a disgrace to auditors, and I think he's putting you guys back 100 years instead of going forward.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Joe, do you know who he's talking about?
No idea.
Let's just I'm gonna have some fun with this. So for example, I'm gonna play word charades, and I'm gonna pretend to be this auditor.
Wait a second. No name. I didn't know you had a kid.
No, I don't have a kid.
No, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna act out this scene. Oh no, y'all! There's no police around here right now. What was I gonna do if there wasn't no police? I'm gonna have to call the police on myself.
Oh my god, I know you're talking about.
I love
but
it.
When he first started, he was good. It was like he learned from you, Josh. He was doing, following in your footstep or your guy's footsteps. He was doing good for the first 2 months. For the first 2 months.
He's actually been around longer than so his channels got taken down 4 different times, but when I started, he had a channel that had about 50,000 subscribers that got taken down. So he started around the same time Chuck Bronson and News Now Houston did. So he's actually been around quite a bit longer than me.
All I see him ever doing lately is causing cat fights.
Yeah.
Always bitching or complaining about somebody or creating problems and then walks away. Wasn't me. I didn't have nothing to do about it. I just mean it's stuff like that. It's just guys like that shouldn't be on the street, that are just wasting the time. And I was seeing, sorry to say, Josh, when you were on the street before you went away for a vacation there, I was seeing a difference in some of the departments that you were head, and then people were going to them afterwards. I see a lot of you auditors do that, and then other people go afterward and there's changes. I don't see that with certain people when they go out and they do auditing. They take it too far. They do things that has nothing to do with trying to make change. It's got nothing to do with, getting the views from the people that are supporting you and paying your salary, and making a change and walking away and then coming back the next day and go, look what I did. Nobody remembers that anymore because nobody sees what you've done because you've done nothing. You have to be able to walk away and say, hey, listen, I made a change. I feel proud about that. Me, I'm the type of person, every year I give away money. I give away things because I'm proud to do it, and I don't want anything back. I get a better feeling to knowing I made a difference in that one person's life. I can only start there, but I'm not going to go back and screw it up. I'm going to go back the next year and get that feeling again. Only if I have to get it once a year is okay with me. That's a change. Not going back and messing up what everybody's done. That's my honest opinion. I've been around for 60 years, and believe me, I've been in some tight places where I can't even talk about, and I can tell you stuff about police officers, government officials that would absolutely blow your mind. It doesn't compare to what you guys are doing out there. These stuff will blow your mind that has been going on. And I live in Canada, so if you think it's bad in the States, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes in Canada.
I can only imagine. I know some people out in Canada, and they say that it gets pretty bad out there.
Yeah, well, we have a police department. It's called OPP, and we call them Ontario Party Poopers for a reason, because these guys are absolutely bullying. There's never any change with them. No matter what you do, there's no change.
That's what's going to continue to happen because there's no oversight.
And we don't have auditors out here. We have very few of them. We have a guy probably everybody knows that comes all the way from London, England out here just to do some auditing. But we don't have a lot of auditors out here to make a change.
Right. Hey, are you aware of no-name audits? Do you know no-name? No, I'm serious. Do you know no-name audits?
Yes, yeah. Yesterday, the other day, you guys were trying to get him to do. He was being such a sucker. You guys were trying to get him to do some stunts in the store. Well, if you want to become a YouTuber, that's a part of becoming a YouTuber, is it not?
I have an excellent video of Breaking the Flaw drop. If you want to come back up, thanks, Joe. I have a video. No name. You have such bad feedback. I have a video I want to show you. I have a video I want to show you of No Name Joey doing some really great work. Okay, so let's check out this last audit done by No Name. Oops, hold on, not that one. This and you can audit the audit, as it were. I want you to be the judge of this, Joey. You're going to audit the audit, okay?
This is not the one where he goes up to the police station and tries to get some help and then walks away, is it?
This is that. So guys at home, this video is on your screen. I'm gonna blow it.
Why don't you tell them the backstory to that? Why don't you tell them how?
No name. I will. Relax.
Well, that just proves to you that I've seen every video because I told you about it before you put it on.
So here we go. Let's so everyone can watch it together. Let's start the video. Here we go.
The jaw. It's the only thing that's automatic.
Yes, please. What's that, sir? You want to speak with an officer? Yes, please. No, it's the shoes.
They are cool shoes.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, just listen, sit down. Okay. What? You know what? You failed. I'm done. Let's go. Come on.
What, are they coming to see us, or what's happening? All right. They failed. It takes 10 minutes to get somebody, and then they tell us to wait. I don't know what's going on here, but No Name just had a meltdown.
All right, Joey. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thought on that is the cop got turned on for a reason, because he got turned on because he got him to say, yes, sir, as many times as he wanted him to, which was absolutely comical. And you're supposed to be the hero. That's no hero to me. That was a coward. It was funny. It was comical. But you walked away as the loser, and he won. He's behind his desk.
Hey, Joey.
He's laughing his head off, thinking it's a big joke because he got you to say, yes, sir, how many times?
Hey, Joey, Josh is doing a winning charity thing. He's gonna take you out as much as he wants next week, and I want to see how you do.
Well,
I'm in Canada.
So here's a little preview to what happened.
That's always your guy's excuse.
No Name. You got a bunch of feedback. So in his defense, I'm going to release the full video tomorrow. We went into this building that was straight up out of the fucking 50s. And my video on it is like 10 minutes long from editing. We probably spent like a half hour walking around this open police station that had like 6 floors and no one was there. Oh, thanks, Ross-Con. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hey, by the way, Ross, I hit you and timed you out by accident. I was trying to get the guy above you, so I do apologize. So we audit this place for a half hour, and no one is there. So finally, we walk around and see this small little vestibule. And I've always said, the smaller the lobby for the people, the larger the police station is because they got more to hide. So finally, after a half hour, we get here and we turn on the microphone. And the guy's like, yeah, you want to talk to a cop? And No Name's like, yeah, I want to talk to a cop. And the guy goes, hold on, you said you need to speak to someone? And he's like, yeah, I need to speak to someone. And he goes, all right, sit down. And there's no chairs there. There's only a gumball machine. And he goes, you want me to sit down? Where do you want me to sit? And the cop goes, sir. And No Name was like, you know what? You failed. I'm out of here. I can't take this shit no more. So there was more pretext to that. He didn't just walk into the police station and then
Yeah,
say,
I know that, but there's still the such thing I believe in. And in my job, what I had to do, if I allowed that to get to me every time that they did things like that, they would always win. You never let the opponent win. You always be the hero and walk away and keep on smiling. Every time you do that, that officer even gets worse because he just figured out how to get under your skin. He did that intentionally. You can hear the way that he was answering you all the time. He was smirking the fact that you kept saying, yes, sir. He was trying to get under your skin, and you allowed it to happen. You shouldn't allow them to win. They're nobody. You're their boss. You should be standing tall and proud to be there and to check up on them and record what they just did to you and be able to put that on the public and let them be the judge and let them handle it now, because you're all supposed to be a team, and that means every citizen is a team. And that's the whole thing about you guys auditing. You're supposed to be team building. It's like playing a sport. You're building a team, you're teaching them how to do it, and they're backing you 100%. But getting mad or upset about something, you allow them to win and you satisfy their needs.
so Joey,
You shouldn't have to do that. You're better than they are.
Let me pose something to you, because I always say what people see is either the live stream that goes up or they see the static video. And there's a lot behind the scenes that goes into this. For example, when this video was filmed, we were up for about 4 days straight. In 4 days, we drove through 5 different states and we filmed over 60 different police stations, right? So even I still make mistakes when I go out there, because sometimes you're just tired. You know, we have to hit as many places as possible. I mean, with Chuck Bronson in 3 days, we covered 7 states, almost went into Canada, and we got about 70 videos. So the stuff that when you guys see these videos come up on the suggestions or the notifications, you see this stuff and you say, oh, well, then that's the reason I released that short clip, so people could see. I want to see what opinions they took away from it, because we got a lot going on, right? And we can tell where things are going to go. So I knew that this cop, because I would have went right back in there, even if, and No Name knows this. Sometimes when he's had like his little tips and he's like, oh, fuck this, I'm done, I'll go back and continue filming. That cop wasn't going to come out. He wasn't going to send anybody out. You better believe that we were walking through that building for 30 minutes and they were watching every step that we took. And every second we stand there wasting time with him. What's up?
The other thing is, too, is that I don't want to make you sound like you're lying, but there was a time when we were in the 2nd floor. We did hit the microphone up there, and they told us to go down to the vestibule. I think my video will show that. I think that's what happened, yeah. That's why we've ultimately figured out to go down there. So I think you forgot. Yeah, that's how we figured it out. Yeah, I'm not trying to correct you or nothing like that, but I'm just trying to tell you that.
That's fine. Yeah. That clears things up. I mean, I have.
He already knew we were coming. Yeah.
I have 560 videos on my channel, and I've probably filmed about 1,000. Half make it up, half are in the archive. So, you know, like anyone else in any other job, you know, we make mistakes from the very beginning to right now. I've learned
there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, but you learn from them. I believe in that wholeheartedly. When I went in and did an investigation job, never seen my family for months and months and months on end because I couldn't.
I'll be back. I got to come down. I got to go up, down, and come back.
I couldn't take the chance of being caught or any information getting away from me. I mean, I made mistakes along the way too, which scared me to death because I always had to think that if I made a mistake, keep looking over my shoulder. Are they going to catch on I'm investigating them or not? I mean, my job was very serious and very dangerous. It proved it to be the end when I finally got caught from someone and stabbed me 19 times. Over 3,000 stitches all through my whole body. Not able to even walk anymore. All the back of my neck all cut up to pieces. Took me almost 9 years of therapy just to be able to speak now. But I don't dwell on that. But when I see you guys out there doing a good job, and auditors doing a good job, I'm proud. I'm in Canada. I wish I was in the US behind you guys and giving some tips and giving you some secrets that I had in my job. But the ones that ruin the whole thing are, you know who they are. They should be stopped from auditing altogether because they're just putting your guys' great audit job behind a year, months, and it's like you're starting all over again when you get out there. I see right now cops are getting worse instead of getting better. Why is that? Now they're just doing it in public while you're filming. Anyways, it's like they just don't care. Why is that? Because
they don't have to care.
They don't know who the good auditor is or the good bad auditor that's going to turn them in, right?
It doesn't matter who the good auditor or the bad auditor is. What the issue here is that they're more concerned about being the tough guy and feeling like they're in charge. That's what the thing is, right? So these cops, like for example, I'm going to play a video right now. I released it earlier today. The cop doesn't put on his seatbelt. He doesn't use a directional. We call him out. His sergeant says, yeah, we are supposed to use seatbelts. We're supposed to use directionals. I follow the cop to his car. And just because he doesn't want to be told what to do by a citizen, he abandons all of the people he serves. Instead of going on the street and patrolling during a time of looting and marching, this guy says, you know what? I'm not going to put my seatbelt on. I'm not going to let you tell me what to do. But he wants everyone else to follow his orders and to follow his directives. I'm going to share this video real quick.
But the sergeant did the same thing. The only thing he did was turned on his signal lights, but he never put on his seatbelt.
Right. All right, I'm going to share this real quick. Let you guys take a peek. Here we go.
Just keep your hands where I can see them, all right? Make sure you don't make any sudden movements, okay? Now he's going inside just so, because what he was doing is he was waiting for his supervisor to leave so that he could not put on his seatbelt again. And he's been 10A. Right now he's trying to be 10-4, but he'll figure it out. He needs to go someplace that don't require seatbelts or turn signals, so he's 10-8. He's pulling out of the parking lot, not with a no seatbelt, no turn signal. Who's this guy? Are you above the law, sir? I was just informed by your sergeant that you are required to use turn signals and wear your seatbelt. Can you explain to me why you didn't? I mean, I very nicely. He was. Turning onto a roadway, though, which would have required the turn signal. I mean, what are you going to do? We do need to wear seatbelts and use turn signals. So you were wrong then. So you were wrong. I mean, we are going to discuss it because you work for us. So are you going to put your seatbelt on? Let's see if you learned a lesson at least. Let's see if you learn use the turn signal now and puts his seatbelt on now, and we'll file an official complaint tomorrow and ask thousands of people to sign it. See if he gets that seatbelt on. Can wait for him. I'm just gonna wait and make sure you use that seatbelt, bro. Right? The badge doesn't give you extra rights, dude. Waiting for your supervisor to leave, so that way you can leave without your seatbelt trying to say fuck you to the people that you serve. I get what you're doing here. Okay? Okay? But I'm making you a promise right now. Just keep your hands where I can see them, all right? Make sure you don't make any sudden movements, okay? Now he's going inside. Just so what he was doing is he's waiting for his supervisor to leave so that he could not put on his seatbelt again. And he's been 10-8. Right now he's trying to be 10-4, but he'll figure it out. He needs to go someplace that don't require seatbelts or turn signals, so he's 10-8. Maybe we'll get you a seatbelt for your office chair, just so you remember to put that shit on, okay, dude? 10-8. 10-8, you're clear.
Sorry, some people said you guys were having an echo, so I just killed it. But yeah, so basically this cop was just, it was very simple. He's pulled people over before. I don't need to pull his record. He's pulled people over before for not wearing a seatbelt. He's pulled people over before for not signaling a lane change. He's given tickets for both of those. Hold on. He's given tickets for both of these instances. He's given tickets for both these things. However, he'll abandon his duties. This is late night in small Columbus, Indiana. So the only cops that are on this shift are the two that you see in this, right? So you're diminishing your ability to protect the public by half just because you don't want to wear a seatbelt. Not because you don't want to wear a seatbelt, because someone told you to put on your seatbelt. He wants to tell you to put on your seatbelt. You better put it on right away. You tell him to put on his seatbelt, he ain't having it. And he'll abandon you, he'll abandon your safety, he'll abandon his duties, and he'll abandon his oath just so he doesn't have to do what the citizens that he serves instruct him to do.
Well, ours out here are different. They always have an excuse. They say, we can't put our seatbelts out because we have to get out of the car so quick to do our job, and it's unsafe for us to do up our seatbelt because we're in and out of our vehicles more than we're in it.
And the other thing is that how they're even monitoring traffic. So see, you'll see at the end of this video that that Chuck says, oh, you know, they're going to look into the license plates and the stickers. 2 police vehicles. One had an expired registration. The other had no tags on the vehicle. An expired registration. Like, you can't make this shit up. So the police car with the expired registration is the one that's pulling you over for an expired registration. That's the type of shit that inspired Chuck to go buy a fucking radar gun. And we'd sit there and we'd clock cops on camera. And then we'd follow them. And when they went to a call, we'd be like, what are you doing? Oh, we're just doing a routine traffic stop. Why? Oh, they were speeding. I don't give a shit. So are you. I got you 25 miles over the speed limit in a school zone. My shit's calibrated as yours. Get the fuck out of here. But Joey, I appreciate you coming up. We're going to close out, and we got about a minute or two left. So I really appreciate you coming up here and sharing your story.
Well, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad to see that you're out, and I hope you guys all stay safe. And I wanted to do a shout out for Long Island auditors. I mean, that guy is absolutely amazing what he's doing out there. And a few other ones. One face popped it up about 10 minutes ago, but didn't stay on. Was that HP?
We had Swan Villain. We had Breaking the Flaw.
I can never remember this guy's name, but he's out there 24/7 like you used to be, and to be honest with you, straight up, he's one of the top best auditor I've seen in a long time. And you guys are all doing a good job, and I like it when you guys all come together and get together when someone else is in need. And I think that's amazing, man. Keep doing the job. Don't change. Don't back down. Strive forward. You guys are all making a change. We see it slowly, but when different auditors get out there, put you guys behind. But there is a change out there. You guys should be more than proud that you're doing this, and you're all doing this together. No matter how many of you trying to be a comedian and do it your own way, you're all doing it together. And the best of luck to all of you guys. And your channels are going to be so successful because you're doing the right damn thing. Best of luck and Merry Christmas to you guys. And the new year is going to be a bang.
Happy holidays, Joey. Thanks so much for coming out. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Nice guy, Joey Morris. Very cool. Upstate Audits. Thank you so much, Banana Ranner and Ross. Thank you for the super stickers, super chats. Well, guys, this is just a quick one. Wanted to come up and talk about these things. I'm going to be doing this a couple times a week. We have a Saturday show, not this Saturday because, well, it's Christmas, and I do plan to audit Santa Claus very closely. If you guys want to make any contributions, you can always use the super stickers. You can use the super chats. You can go to, Numi, what's up, bud? You can go to paypal.me/accountability4all, as you see going across the bottom of your screen. Cash App, $AFAYT. Check out Accountability for All. You can also buy our gear, right? Buy our gear. We also have a podcast. It's called Accountability for All Podcast. It's available on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Anchor FM, etc. All of the above mentioned. You can also go to our Facebook page. It's Accountability for All. You'll see my picture on the top. There's some fake ones out there, so just keep an eye. And I'd like everyone in here to go subscribe to our second channel. It's called The AFA Crew. We're going to be having panels hosted on there, a lot of funny videos. And, but before I go, No Name came to crash my party. What are you doing, No Name? Are you auditing a bus or something? What do you got? Simple Mobile?
That's it.
I can't even hear you, buddy.
Again, so I'm being signal jammed. I can't even hear you.
The bus driver's jamming your signal?
Wow, it's crazy. You there? Yeah, there's interference with the signal.
Yeah, damn bus driver. The bus driver must have qualified immunity as well. I'll talk to you off screen, No Name. All right, guys, really appreciate you. Just wanted to talk about this shit, and I'll see you again soon. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we're going to be going back to the normal schedule for Saturday FA, 7:30 to 11. Appreciate everyone that came up on panel, Breaking the Flaw, Swan Villain, Joey, No Name. Thank you so much. And until the next time, that's the reason I stopped you today.